So a lot of people want to know what's so special about our advanced oral probiotics. And I can tell you, because it's part of my patented system, the Great Oral Health System, where it's a combination of out with the bad, in with the good. So what I did is I started looking at what were the strains worldwide that could actually bring about a better effect in the mouth. And what we discovered is that 2% of the population really never gets tooth decay or gum disease. And a lot of people don't know that, but as dentists, we know that we sometimes have patients that come in, they have nothing. They have never had a cavity, never had a filling, their gums are healthy, and they brush a little bit, they floss a little bit. They're not even that really vigilant about their oral hygiene. So what is it about those people? Well, it was found out they had a very, very strong, high preponderance of a certain strain called BLIS K12. Now, BLIS K12 was isolated from research out of New Zealand. And in New Zealand, they discovered this strain. They've been able to grow it in the lab and actually replicate it. And the whole theory is, let's help the 98% of us that don't have this kind of bacteria in our mouth that's really healthy and proofs up against tooth decay, gum disease, bad breath, etc. Let's add it into a probiotic, just like they were doing for the gut. Let's do it for the ear, nose, throat, and mouth. So we started doing that with this product. So one of my strains has a BLIS K12 in it. BLIS just means bacteria-like inhibitory substance. That means those bacteria have little Star Wars devices on them. Those bacteria go in, and they have little things they can shoot out that inhibits the harmful bacteria. So the BLIS K12 is just an amazing part of this 7-strain patented advanced oral probiotic that I created. The other one is called M18, so it's just the name of a strain, and they found that strain helps also with plaque reduction, fresher breath, possibly decrease in the bacteria that can cause tooth decay. Now, the other strains that I put in there are all meant to bring about a balance, not only in the mouth, but also in the application. So there's lactobacillus strains in there, there's streptococcus strains in there. What we found by mixing these together, the lactobacillus ones create a stickiness that holds the streptococcus strains in there longer. Because of the synergy of those two, it will help hold those bacteria in place longer so that they don't just slough off and we end up swallowing them and they're wiped out by the gut, acids, etc. The cool thing is we've done research on the independent strains on this particular product, and each of the independent strains has really large amounts of research. The BLIS K12 has huge research, the M18, the Lactobacillus reuteri, the various other strains have such great research. And so we wrote a paper, it's on the greatoralhealth.com website, and anybody can read it. I made it fairly user simple that a person can read through there, and it's referenced with 50 to 80 different footnotes that lays out what study supported what statements. And so we get a lot of great reports, and I see it in my practice too. People that have had bleeding gums, the bleeding can stop sometimes rather quickly. They get fresher breath. And women in particular, I don't know why it's just the women, but they use this and the next morning their teeth feel so clean they sometimes think they don't have to brush their teeth. These are the stories and comments that I get not only from my patients, but also we get the same thing online. So that's just because it inhibits the plaque sticking apparatus in the mouth. There's a substance in here called dextranase, which actually breaks down the stickiness by which plaque hangs onto the teeth. So they're gonna feel cleaner throughout the day, especially when you wake up in the morning. There were some studies done on children on just one of the strains in here that they saw a decrease of up to 50% ear, nose, and throat infections, which is amazing. Now, I don't ever promise that it's a cure to any illness or disease, but you know, an ounce of prevention is worth 300 pounds of cure, right? Now, as to the other ingredients, there's some other fillers in there. One is a prebiotic called inulin that helps keep the bacteria alive in their semi-dormant state. in these chewable capsules. And the prebiotic helps make sure that they stay in the mouth. They're not going to run somewhere because they need food to survive. And the way that this works in the mouth is by putting these bacteria in, it crowds out the other bacteria because they're all competing for a similar food source. And by crowding out the bad ones, it suppresses them so that they can't be noxious and create illness in the mouth, or at least lessens their potential for doing it. The other part of the ingredient here is called dicalcium phosphate. Now, that's used to create the bulking agent and the hardness of the tablet. But the beauty is dicalcium phosphate, when it hits solution, saliva, water, etc., it goes through a little process and it breaks down into hydroxyapatite. Now, the way I discovered that is after this product was out for a while, I had a dentist friend of mine, his wife was using it, and she always had sensitive teeth, and the sensitive teeth started going away. We discovered, after I did further research, the dicalcium phosphate turns into hydroxyapatite naturally. We also have hydroxyapatite in our toothpaste formulation, but you're getting a small amount in this every night, every day. So everything is chock full of ingredients to help create a healthy mouth, healthy teeth, healthy gums, fresh breath, and a healthy microbiome. This is so easy to use this product. So at night, and I love the flavor of these. This one has a nice mild minty flavor, but you just take 2 out, put it in your mouth, and you can just let it dissolve. I generally like to chew it because it's so flavorful. I know that the dicalcium phosphate in here is helping to send and convert to hydroxyapatite. So it's like I feel good, and already my breath feels fresh just from that little bit. Now you imagine you do that at nighttime and then you go to sleep. And you just locked in 6 billion beautiful beneficial bacteria to your ear, nose, throat, mouth, and then you close it, go to sleep, and they populate. That's what we want. Out with the bad, in with the good.